All right, welcome to the explainer. We all do it pretty much every day, mostly on autopilot, driving. But today, we're going to turn that routine into a real masterclass in safety. We're going to tackle two of the absolute trickiest conditions you'll ever face on the road: that blinding glare of the sun and the total disorienting darkness of night.
And this quote, man, it just nails it, right? A commute you could do with your eyes closed can suddenly become super dangerous, all because of something as simple as the sun. So look, we're not just going to throw a list of tips at you today. No, we're diving deep into the why behind them. Because when you understand why something works, that's when you can really master any condition out there.
So, here's the game plan. We're going to start by decoding the science behind sun glare. Then, we'll tackle the challenges of driving at night. After that, we'll put together the ultimate driver's toolkit. And to wrap it all up, we're going to talk about a simple but powerful mindset shift that, I promise, will change the way you think about driving.
Okay, so let's jump right in with something we've all dealt with: sun glare. And it's so much more than just annoying, isn't it? It's like someone suddenly drops this bright, shimmering curtain right in front of your face, and it just steals those precious seconds you need to react.
Okay, so your sun visor and adjusting your seat, those are your first lines of defense. And hey, quick tip, don't forget that visor can pivot to the side. But, while that stuff helps, the real secret weapon against glare is probably sitting right on your face, your sunglasses. And it's not just any sunglasses, it all comes down to the science.
So believe it or not, this all comes down to a little bit of physics. See that intense glare that really blinds you? It's not just bright light. It's a very specific kind of light called horizontally polarized light. Just imagine light waves bouncing off a flat surface like a wet road or the hood of a car. Instead of scattering everywhere, they all start vibrating in the same direction, sideways. And that's what creates that blinding, concentrated glare.
And this is where the magic happens. Polarized lenses are so cool because they have this special chemical filter that's basically like a microscopic set of Venetian blinds. It's a vertical gate that flat out blocks all those nasty horizontal glare waves, but it lets the useful vertical light straight through. What do you get? A super clear, crisp view without any of that blinding glare. It's pretty brilliant. So, next time you're looking for driving sunglasses, think of this as your ultimate checklist. Yeah, polarized is key, but don't stop there. You want gray or brown tints, because they give you true color perception. Super important for seeing things like brake lights and traffic signals correctly. And that anti-reflective inner coating? That's a pro tip. It stops light from bouncing off the inside of your lens and into your eye.
But listen, it's not just about what you wear. It's about what you're looking through, your windshield. If it's dirty, it becomes a glare multiplier. Seriously, every single speck of dust, every little smudge, it acts like a tiny prism that just scatters light everywhere and makes the glare 1,000 times worse. Keeping your windshield clean isn't just a suggestion, it's absolutely essential. Okay, now this is a fact that I think every single driver needs to have burned into their brain. When glare or fog or anything reduces your visibility, you obviously slow down. But here's why it's so critical. If you double your speed, say from 30 to 60, your braking distance doesn't just double, it quadruples. It takes 4 times the distance to stop. It's all about physics, kinetic energy. A little bit of extra speed has a massive, massive impact on your ability to stop in an emergency.
All right, so we've kind of tamed the sun. Now let's flip the script and talk about its opposite, the dark. We're going from the problem of way too much light to the problem of not nearly enough. And trust me, that means we're playing by a completely different set of rules.
Think about it. During the day, our brains are just spoiled with information. We've got landmarks, shadows, the texture of the road, all these little cues we use to judge distance and speed without even thinking. But at night, poof, all of that just vanishes. We're left with basically nothing but little points of light, and our brain has to work way, way harder to piece together what's going on.
So that glare from oncoming headlights, it can be a huge problem. The trick is simple, but you have to train yourself to do it. Don't stare into the headlights. Don't do it. Instead, shift your gaze down and to the right, and focus on the white line at the edge of your lane. It'll act as your guide and keep you on track without you getting blinded. And yeah, here we go again. A meticulously clean windshield is your absolute best friend here, inside and out. So at night, you kind of have to become a detective, right? You have to actively look for these new clues to figure out what's happening. This right here is basically your cheat sheet. You're looking at the size of lights, how they move, and pay super close attention to the lights in your rearview mirror. If those little dots are getting bigger and brighter really fast, that means a car is closing in on you, and fast. And this one, look, this is non-negotiable. Fatigue. At night, staying alert is just as critical as being able to see.
Your body is naturally programmed to sleep, and trying to fight that is a battle you will eventually lose. So if you feel that drowsiness creep in, if you catch yourself yawning or your eyes getting heavy, please don't be a hero. Just pull over somewhere safe and well lit. Take a 20-minute nap. It is not an exaggeration to say it could save your life.
Okay, so we've talked about light, we've talked about dark. Now let's zoom out a little and build out our all conditions driver's toolkit. And we're going to start with something that might surprise you, the sneaky ways that extreme heat can mess with your car. We all know heat can be tough on a car, but it's not just about overheating. That heat actually causes the air in your tires to expand, which can overinflate them and seriously increase your risk of a blowout. And get this is wild. Heat is actually harder on your car battery than extreme cold. It speeds up the internal chemical reactions that degrade the battery over time. Who knew?
Even something as simple and nice as a sunroof. Yep, it comes with its own set of risks. The biggest one, statistically, is the risk of being ejected in a rollover crash. But the mitigation for that is incredibly simple. Always wear your seatbelt. Problem solved. On a less dramatic note, just make sure to clean out those little drainage channels every once in a while to prevent them from getting clogged and causing leaks. And hey, what about driving gloves? You might think they're just for looking cool, but I'm telling you, they're not. They can be a total game changer for grip and comfort, especially if you're on a long road trip. Doesn't matter if you go for classic leather or some of the newer synthetic ones, you will feel a much better connection to the car and have more control. It really does make a difference.
So we've covered a ton of ground here, right? We've gone from the physics of light all the way to the hardware in your car. But there's one single thread that ties all of this together, and that's your mindset.
And honestly, if you take one thing away from all this, let it be this. It's all about making the shift from being a reactive driver, someone who just responds to whatever happens, to being a proactive driver. Someone who anticipates conditions, who prepares for them, and who uses knowledge to stay one step ahead of trouble before it even starts.
Because when you really get the why behind all these tips, why polarized lenses work, why that braking distance quadruples, why heat is so tough on your battery, you're not just following rules. You're making informed, smart decisions. And every single one of those little decisions builds on the last, making you a more confident, a safer, and honestly, a more relaxed driver.
So I want to leave you with this one question. What is the one small, informed change you're going to make today to elevate your own driving? Maybe it's as simple as finally cleaning the inside of your windshield. Maybe it's checking your tire pressure before you leave. Or maybe you'll finally go get that great pair of polarized sunglasses. Whatever it is, turn that knowledge into action on your very next drive. Because at the end of the day, being a safer driver, it starts with you.
Please like, subscribe, and get notified.